welcome to Time to Shine Radio. It's your girl Legend. It's Friday, and I have another amazing guest for y'all. Turn up, Mr. Barrington. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm just excited to be here, and it's just a great vibe, great energy.
Absolutely, great vibe, great energy all the time. So introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, my first name is Barrington. I know I get a lot of people think that's my last name. I just want to get that clear.
Okay.
That's my first name, Barrington Marson. Been an independent filmmaker for over 10 years.
Wow.
Went to school down here, AIU.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I graduated in 2009. And yeah, so you know how old I am. But
yeah, look at they over 25.
well, thank you. But yeah, I when I graduated, took some time off to write, and then just developed my craft in 2010. Finally was able to afford my own camera, so I just started shooting a whole bunch of short films, in film festivals, getting my name out there, and it's just definitely blossomed over the years, and I'm just so excited. And you know, it's just been developing. Got a bigger cast and crew. Everybody I work with right now.
Wow.
And I got a feature film coming out August 13th, which I'm super excited about.
Okay.
It's been a long journey.
But I'm sure we're going to dig into that.
Oh yeah, sure.
So I like to always go back to the root of things. So when did you develop your love for filming?
It's kind of weird, because if I could look at my life now, I would have thought I would have been an actor.
Okay.
Because I love, characters, and every time I used to watch movies, I was just like, my mind would escape to that reality, that world.
Okay.
I grew up, my parents put me in, grew me up on comic books and stuff like that, and fantasy and adventure movies. So I love movies like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Batman, whatever.
Wow.
And, it just kind of developed over the years. And, I think God just kind of just narrowed me into doing films. And, I kind of said, originally I was going to go to school to be a animation artist.
Okay.
Because I like drawing and stuff like that. But, I kind of did a little switch gear, my life, had to revamp it, figure out what I want to do. So I just said, I love movies, I love stories, and I just started writing scripts, and it just kind of went from there, and I just let it blossom. Of course, there was times I wasn't kind of sure, and I kind of want to give up or whatever.
Okay.
But I think God just kind of just said, nah, this is where I need you to be. I'm gonna get you back in where you need to be. So yeah, it just kind of blossomed over the years, and I just been very fortunate to work with great people over the years, and just learn, I think, as much as possible. I try to be different as possible in this industry, as much as I can, and just continue to develop my craft and storytelling and stuff like that. And how can I be different? I don't want to be, the typical cliche, black filmmaker.
Right.
I think sometimes we get a stereotype like, oh, he's a black filmmaker, he's going to deliver these certain type movies.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with those. I think, we need to see those type of stories, but, at the same time, I got into it because I want to tell, adventure, fantasy, movies like that, or even horror. Like, I don't want to ever put myself in a box as a filmmaker. I've done many movies from horror to dramas to action, comedy.
Wow.
I just want to be versatile as possible and just, leave my stamp on, Hollywood. So.
Right. So with that, do you have like a favorite genre that you like to produce?
That's hard. My dad always said, I would be good at doing raunchy comedies, because that's what really got my name out there in the industry. I started doing these little indie raunchy comedies. I did a movie called Welcome to Uranus. Was pretty much about a story about people working in a porn store and the crazy drama. It's kind of like a Players Club, but it's more of in a porn store.
Oh, okay.
So it's very different, and I just did a whole bunch of different comedies, but, at the same time, I had to kind of stick back to what I like doing, and movies that I like enjoying. It's more like action, adventure. I've done some superhero stuff a couple years ago, which I'm doing writing a screenplay right now for. It's called Mr. Watson.
Right.
Which I'll start shooting that sometime next year. We're still working on the screenplay, but that movie's going to be very different, I think, because I'm a big comic head, so I wanted to make sure I did a movie that wasn't compared to most other superhero movies.
Oh.
I mean, you always get pigeoned into it's compared or it looks like this and this and that, but story-wise, it's very much of a pursuit of happiness type of movie. But also, you kind of see the vigilante side. He struggles with his personal life and you know, his love life and stuff like that. So he's going through that, but at the same time, he has to. He feels like he has a calling in life and what he does, and he has a purpose, and he's just trying to balance out his life and figure it all out.
Okay.
So it's going to be a pretty fun movie.
Okay, we're looking forward to that. So look, if I'm an independent filmmaker and I'm just starting out, right? How do I break into the film industry?
That is a good question. You got me thinking.
I know
really
everybody's
hard.
path is different. We know that.
Yeah. The best thing I could say is to buy a camera.
Okay, that's number one.
And start shooting.
Okay.
You know, whatever type of stories you want to tell, start shooting it. You know, write 5-page scripts. That's how I started off in college. I was writing like 5-page scripts. And I didn't have no money. I was in college, you know, time to live with my parents. So it's like I was shooting everything in their house and, you know, whatever I had access to. So I always tell people, like, whenever you write, especially if you don't have a budget, you know, write what you can afford and what you have access to.
Right.
So if you know a friend that has an office, write something you can write into an office or a bedroom or whatever, you know. So, you know, just kind of be authentic as possible, tell stories that you want to tell, and just be original and, you know, use what you have access to, you know. I mean, I think that's what, you know, I've always kind of used and was kind of let me grow into doing stuff because, you know, back when I was in college, I was doing I did just some little horror movies and stuff like that. So again, that's one of my genres I like doing.
Okay.
That's
fun, right?
It's fun.
Yeah.
And you know, just to me, because I'm an editor as well, so I edit my stuff. So it's like, yeah, just being in the editing room. Like I love like putting music and sound designing and building that intensity for the scene. Like, you know, so it's like those little stuff like that I really like doing and stuff like that. Because I feel like editing, that's where you kind of can escape and put the story together.
Right.
You know, 'cause I always tell people like filmmaking, it really happens on set.
Okay.
You can plan as much as you can, and that's great to do that, but so much stuff gets changed when you're on set. You know, what you write, you visioned $1 million scene or whatever, but you realize what your budget is probably like, you know, $300.
Right.
So it's like you gotta write what what can work.
Like keep it real, right?
Yeah, but you know, at the same time you gotta be creative with it, you know, and I think you gotta be able to know how to move and change, you know, on set, you know, because stuff is always gonna change, you know, no matter what.
Every time.
Every time. What can go wrong will go wrong.
Okay. So let's talk about like a day in the life on set. So what happens on set day?
Well, depending on what set.
Okay, let's say new horror on a horror set. Like you gotta do food, you gotta do production, you gotta do location, you gotta do makeup.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not funded by no Hollywood studio, so of course, you know, I do crafty and catering and stuff like that because I've done catering and crafty on like, you know, Hollywood sets for, you know, Tyler Perry, all the movie sets, Black Lightning. So I've worked on big sets before, and I've kind of took that, you know, little steps of just I was doing crafty. So I kind of learned how to, you know, run my own set, you know, when I'm running stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing is to make sure your crew is eating.
Right.
Especially if you can't afford to pay them. Feed your people. So I always advise that to anybody. Feed your people, you know, treat them well, you know, show them respect, you know. One thing about me, most of my crew guys, and anybody I work with, they know I have like probably the best personality. I'm very laid back. Okay. You know, I'm not one of those yelling type of. I mean, my friend Ramir can tell you, you know, I don't yell and all that stuff, but you know, they know I'm a perfectionist at the same time, and you know, we're here to get it done, but at the same time, let's have fun while we're doing it. But you know, as far as with the horror movies, you know, it's more of just kind of prepping to know what kind of scene you're going to tell.
Okay.
If it's going to require a lot of visual effects, kind of make sure you track that. And, you know, you're going to need a lot of VFX makeup and stuff like that. You got to kind of prep for that as well. I mean, horror movies can be kind of hard to do, especially if you don't have a budget.
Okay, right.
Because it requires a lot of makeup and stuff like that. So, I mean, I do have a really good crew that does special effects makeup as well.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So, and how long have you been in Atlanta?
I've been in Atlanta forever. No.
You grew up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm originally from Jamaica, Queens.
Okay.
So I've been here forever though. You know, my dad's originally from Jamaica, Kingston, and my mom was raised in Queens, New York. So they met. He ended up moving, of course, to Brooklyn and stuff like that, and you know, so they met. And, yeah, I mean, yeah. But I mean, I always went back a lot growing up, you know. So it's not, I wasn't, you know, lost if I went there. I know where stuff is at, places to go, whatever. So, you know, it's definitely a great time in my life, great memories. And, you know, I still try to go back here and there, but, you know, it's a little different now because, you know, a lot of my family members are just long gone. But, you know, it's still good. It's still good energy to go there, you know, here and there. Yeah.
So, throughout your career, what were some of the challenges you faced?
As far as films?
Yeah, as far as film, yeah.
Budget?
Okay. Is that like the biggest one?
That is the number one.
Okay, the number one.
If you have a budget, you don't have to worry about nothing else.
Nothing else.
You know, but budget is the biggest thing. I think most independent filmmakers know how it is. It's like you got a great concept, but just like, oh man, it's gonna cost me this, it's gonna cost me that. Like, am I gonna afford, like, especially like if you're trying to do like time period piece movies, that's expensive. You know, you gotta get costumes, you gotta get hair and all that stuff. It can be a little challenging.
Okay.
I mean, even for like, you know, my feature film, we really didn't have a budget. At all. My budget was, when I started, was less than $7,000. Wow.
But you made it happen.
We made it happen.
Period.
It was. I went through some broke times. For at least good 3.5 months, I was broke. Okay. We were shooting on Saturday and Sunday. I had a regular 9 to 5, working my job, and then I used to work 2 to 10. Wow. I get off at work, go to my friend's house because he's in the industry. Borrow his lens. Be up at 6 o'clock, and had to set by at least be there by 7. Meantime, I was still doing crafty. Wow. So I'm loading my truck with equipment and all that stuff. It was rough, but you know, I felt like I had to really make this movie. Just because I've been trying to make it since 2019. Wow. Really early as 2018 a little bit.
Like almost 4 years in the making.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, sometimes I kind of want to give up just because it's just like, man, this is too complicated. Right. But you know, I had went to California, I think it was like 2018, I think, and just being out there in that atmosphere, that whole Hollywood, you know, son just told me like, you know, let me get this movie one more time. You know, let me just try this, you know. So I got with my main actor, and he said, hell yeah, let's do it. Wow. And, you know, I got the other actors and stuff like that. Some people couldn't come back, of course, you know, stuff changed. And from there, I felt like, okay, I got a chance, you know. Right. So it was tough, you know, but, you know, I was very fortunate to have a lot of good resources, people in the industry, gave me some favors, locations. Right. You know, I always tell people like production value is the key for any movie you're doing. Wow. Because people look at that. Yes. You know, that's gonna make you look amateur, or it's gonna, you know, or it's gonna look somewhat of a Hollywood movie. Absolutely. You know, so I was fortunate to have some great locations, clubs, mansions in my movie and stuff like that. And you know, I had a fantastic actor, Levi Burdick. He's a very seasoned actor. He's been in the game for probably 10 years, and he was really he held it down. You know, he made it easy for me as a director, and it was very easy to work with. And we just had a really good, you know, good friend relationship on set. You know, that's what you want as a director. You want to make sure you work. Relationships. You want to have a good relationship with your actors. But I mean, most of my actors, they love working with me. You know, I'm a very cool, laid back type of director. You know, I'm not like, hey, it's got to be this way or the highway on set. You know, 'cause I feel like you get the worst performance sometimes when you do that. You know, I feel like you got to have a vision and tell your actors that, of course, but I think you always have to leave some open room for your actors to be like, hey, what do you think about this? You know, because I can write something, but I want to see what you're, you know, how you feel about it. Right. So, you know, that's one thing a lot of my actors love about me. They let me kind of let them breathe, the act, you know, because I feel like that's when you get the best performance. That's true. Well, you don't want to put them in a box. Like, you've got to learn these lines. Yeah. Because it's like sometimes I write stuff and then I read out loud and it's like, oh, this doesn't sound good. And I'm just like, well, what do you think about this? How would you read? You know, and they would put their input. And I was like, yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's run it. Wow. If it works, it works. No, you know, go back to whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the goal for your company? Like, where are you trying to take it to?
Oh man, I'm just trying to expand. I'm working on, having my Barrington Marson studios.
Okay.
I'm working on that right now.
Wow.
I'm trying to let it, go bigger. I have some big plans for my studios. I don't want to kind of say what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
I know everybody's doing something in their studios,
Right.
but I'm trying to do some really innovative stuff, some new stuff that I feel like every studio, I feel like rental studios kind of doing the same thing. They're not kind of like stepping out the box, especially with these set builds.
Right.
I noticed. So I'm really trying to do some real original new stuff that people are like, wow, I can use this for stuff that I would want to use in my movie. So that's what I'm working on right now. Just working on getting my own studio and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I said I got my red carpet in August 13th.
Wow.
Which I'm pretty excited about. Got distributions for the movie, so I'm
Wow.
really happy about that. And I got 2 scripts I'm working on right now. It's Mr. Watson,
Mr. Watson.
which I'm super excited about that.
Yes.
We're actually going to show the exclusive teaser at the red carpet.
What?
So I'm working on that right now.
Okay.
So some little VFX stuff to it, so it's going to be
Look
pretty.
at you.
Yeah.
Showing out.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty dope. So I'm working on that, and then I also have another script that I'm kind of in negotiations with. Is a biopic on Les Brown. Yes.
I love him.
Yeah,
I listen
so-
to him all the time.
Yeah, so he read the script, finished it up last year, and he called me and stuff like that.
You talked to Les Brown?
Yeah,
That's so dope.
I got his number. So. He's a really cool guy. I mean, when he had called me, I'll say early 2020, we shot the teaser. Because I was already working with him prior to that. Some couple of video stuff or whatever. I met his daughter first, Homer Brown. And then her and her, assistant introduced me to him and stuff like that. And her daughter already said, like, yeah, this is the guy who wants to make your movie for free.
And what did he say?
And he just like, no, you can't do movie for free. But,
less.
Yeah. So we stayed in talking and stuff like that. And 2020, I was like, you know what, I'm about to go ahead and write a teaser or shoot one. So I was like, to just let him know I'm serious.
Right.
So I casted an actor, which his name is Nakia Dillard. He's actually one of the actors on Wonder Years right now. Shouts to Nakia Dillard. What's up? And he's been on Black Lightning and a couple of so many movies and stuff like that. And he was like the last submission because I had 2 other guys submitted, and I was thinking about him. I was like, But then when he submitted, I was just like, something about his presence and his voice that attracted me, and I was just like, I say, I can, he had a little Southern audition or whatever, but I was like, I can kind of change that a little bit. But he was such a fantastic guy. Like, we literally, like, I think we was talking today, honestly. Like, we talk, like, every day.
Okay.
So we have, like, already that built relationship.
Right.
And he comes down, because he's in Philly, he lives in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, so he comes down here usually, whenever he's got to be on Wonder Years, stuff like that. So we always try to grab lunch or whatever. So, but, I told him about the role, and he, auditioned for it. We shot the trailer, and I submitted to, it was like a couple months passed down or whatever, and then we decided, like, hey, let's put this trailer online, let's get it out there.
Right.
And I think that day we posted the teaser on Instagram. He posted it.
Wow.
I was at work because I work at the Weather Channel.
Okay.
And we was on live, and I got a call. I'm like, who is this? I'm thinking it's like a bill collector. So I was like, I ain't picking up. So it was a commercial break, so I listened to my voicemail, and it was Les Brown called me.
What?
And he said, Barrington, this is Mammy Brown, baby boy, Les Brown.
How you know that distinct voice?
He says, give me a call. So I was just like, this can't be real.
Right.
So I got off of work, and I was nervous, and I was talking to my floor director at the time. I was like, dude, what I'm going to say, Les Brown called me.
What?
So he's like, all right. He said, I don't know, man. Just think about what you're going to say. So I was at work, and I was like, all right, let me think what I'm going to say. So I got off of work. I was still hesitating. I called him back. Hey, Mr. Brown, how you doing? Because I don't ever call him Les. I just call him Mr. Brown, just be out of respect. So Mr. Brown, he said, how you doing? He said, I'm doing better now. I'm talking to you.
What?
I was like, okay. So we had a conversation, and he's like, what idea, what you got going on? So I told him about my pitch idea I have with the story, and, he loved it. And, I think a couple months later, we did like a Zoom chat, me, him, and Nakia, the actor. Okay. And, you know, we just had that conversation, and he just like, hey, man, I'm gonna let you do your thing, write your script. So, yeah, I think that was like 2020. I was like, so I had started writing the script like later on 2020, and then I finished up like in 2021. And he read it, and he called me. Hey, I was like, hey, everything good? He's like, yeah, I read the script. He said, you like it? He said, I love it. I read it. He said, I've read it twice. I'm gonna read it again. What? For the third time. I said, okay. Wow. So, yeah, so right now that's what I'm working on. That's like my big movie that I really want to work on.
For sure.
You know, so right now it's just kind of just working out the logistics and stuff like that. Stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm just happy that he loved the script.
Right, that part.
Yeah.
When are you guys gonna start shooting?
You know, right now it's just working on getting some stuff finalized.
Okay, for
sure. So, you know, that's a little, takes time,
right,
you know, especially being a biopic film.
Right.
So, you know, but, you know, the good thing he loves the script,
for
you
sure.
know, and, you know, he definitely, you know, he wants a brother to make, you know, his movie.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we kind of established that. So, you know, I'm very passionate about it, you know, because we had I think Tasha B. Simpson, we're trying to work on getting her in the movie as well, because she's friends with Les Brown. She's on the Oval. Right yeah, so she's on that show and stuff like that, and you know we've had Idris Elba look at the trailer.
What did he say?
He liked it.
He liked it.
Yeah, so I definitely would like to get him in the movie.
That would be dope.
Yeah, because I wanted to play Leroy Washington, which was his teacher in high school that kind of boosted his confidence.
Okay.
If you know the story, so I really would love to get him in that movie. So. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of, logistics to it, but it's gonna happen. You know,
right.
I'm speaking to existence, manifesting, so it's gonna happen. So I'm excited about that.
As you should be. I would be ecstatic.
Yeah.
That's Les Brown.
Yeah, so he's a cool guy. He's very funny. He's a very cool guy. So I was supposed to see him like last summer, but it was one of those. I think it was like July. I was supposed to see him because my actor came down here from Philly. And he was saying he's going to his house, but I couldn't go because I had literally 3 shoots that day.
Oh, damn.
And I just of all days. But I mean, it worked out though. I mean, we still stay in contact and stuff like that. So I'm actually, I'm trying to get him to come to the red carpet, hopefully.
Yes, let's get into the red carpet. So August 13th. So what is people supposed to expect that day?
It's going to be a great night. We're going to have the red carpet. We're going to have some, food, some cocktail drinks, so I'm trying to make it a big event, because I feel like I've spent so much time and money and blood, sweat, and tears in this movie. Right. I'm trying to go all out.
For sure.
I want to make this a big event, so it's going to be nice. It starts from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
Red carpet starts at 5. I think the movie's going to start around 6:45 to 8:45, and then, Q&A and stuff like that.
Where is it located?
That's going to be at the Cinevision Corporation. Okay. It's off of Buford.
Definitely send the flyer. I'll definitely be promoting with you.
Oh, yeah. So that is going to be fun. I mean, I'm excited for people to see this movie. We're actually cutting 2 new trailers for the movie right now just because we're going to probably drop that this month. Just because I haven't dropped a trailer for a while just because we were so long in sound design for the movie, which is a very tedious process. Right. It's like a whole nother animal just editing the movie itself. Right. So yeah, I'm excited for people to see this movie. I'm going all out for my cast and crew really because I think they spent some time, and just the hard work. Everybody have a good time. We got the after party at Josephine Lounge. Okay. So it's gonna be a good time. But I mean, the movie's gonna be cool. It's a very crime mystery thriller feel. Crime mystery thriller. Okay. Yeah. So because the trailer, the teaser I got out now, it gives off a very action John Wick movie vibe, and I don't want audience to kind of feel like they're going into seeing that, So I did a little Hollywood magic to it, whatever, which most people do. Yeah. But I want to cut this new teaser just so people can kind of get the whole tone and feel the movie. So we're gonna drop that this month, and then I said we're shooting a music video for the movie because I had an artist write a song for the movie. Okay. It's called Gangster. So we're gonna shoot. Yeah. So it's gonna be hard. So we're gonna shoot that tomorrow at Vivid Studios. So yeah, we're doing that, and then we're going to drop that this month as well. So we're just right now we're just on a big, Yeah.
And what do you want your audience to take away from the film?
Just to value the time you have with the people you love, because you don't never know how long it's gonna last,
right.
and just appreciate that family, because nobody's not perfect. This character is not perfect. I think he's trying to make things perfect, but he's done a lot of dirt in his past, which has kind of come back to haunt him. Pretty much that's some of the premise of the story is, he's a single parent, he's a kind of a contract hitman, so, he's in that whole crime, mafia lifestyle, but his kids don't know about it, so he's trying to kind of escape from it, and, he's telling his big boss, like, hey, I'm out, I'm done with this, I got to spend time with my kids, because he's a single parent. And he made the promises to his wife. So it's like, he's just trying to get that lifestyle, but, stuff start popping up, and I was like, oh, man, he's like, it's kind of like the Michael Corleone in Godfather 3. It's like he's trying to leave, but they keep pulling him back. So it's like he's kind of going through that whole situation. So, now he's kind of having to tell his kids, like, hey, this is what I do. They think he do real estate.
Oh, wow.
And, but they, he ends up finding out he's like a low-key killer. He's in that whole drug world or whatever. So it's like, now it's kind of like figuring out who's the killer of the movie. That's where we get that whole crime thriller vibes. Because when I wrote the script, I was very influenced and inspired by movies like Seven and Kiss the Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And Godfather and Lucky Number 11 with Morgan Freeman's in that movie as well. So, that was like a lot of inspiration writing this movie and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna be a lot of twists and turns.
Okay, you gotta pay attention.
It's gonna be a lot of shockers and stuff like that. So that's one thing I always say when I write. It's like, or any writer or director, it's like whatever story you tell, you always want to make sure whatever your message conveys to your audience.
Right, absolutely.
Because I feel like if you don't convey it, it's just like you kind of just failed up there. So it's like if you're in a comedy movie, if nobody's laughing, then you're just like kind of failed a little bit,
So you're waiting for them reactions.
But people that have watched the movie, just as far as doing like the post-production work, have seen it for the first time, they was really impressed by it.
For sure.
And they were like, wow, I didn't expect that, So, it's a lot of twists and turns, so I kind of give it that little thriller feel. So I'm excited for people to see this movie and,
absolutely,
get it out there.
It's a lot of work. Like, people probably don't even understand, like, how much time goes into post-production.
Oh, man.
See what I mean?
Post-production can seem so longer than the actual production itself.
Wow.
Because I think I started May 4th of 2019.
What?
Yeah, and we didn't finish till like mid-July.
Wow.
And I was actually doing pickup shoots while I was still in production. Most productions don't even do that.
Wow.
They'll shoot the whole movie and then they'll go back and do pickups. I didn't want to do that just because I knew, like, due to my job schedule, I was flexible.
Okay.
So, like, I would shoot whatever I would shoot that Saturday and Sunday. And if I didn't like the dailies, I'd be like, all right, I told my actors, I don't really like the scene. It just didn't turn out, or we didn't have the time.
Okay.
So I would do a lot of my pickups on Tuesdays. I had a Tuesday off.
Okay.
I was very fortunate. My actors were phenomenal. I mean, they went above and beyond. Like, I said, hey, let's do another scene.
Okay.
We got to do a
and
pickup.
they was with it.
They was with it.
Okay.
My actor, he drove like at least an hour every day, come to set.
Wow.
But, he had that dedication. I mean, he made it
mean.
easy for me because he understands, how it is being independent.
Exactly.
So he worked with me a lot, and he was a great trooper and stuff like that. But yeah, post-production is an animal.
Tedious, right?
Yeah, because I said, I decided not to edit the movie just because, I needed a mental break after like 3.5 months. And so I prefer to hire somebody. I pay them whatever because I was like, I prefer to see somebody else's vision. So I hired a editor and stuff like that. Had a little complications just getting it done. Because they were busy on shooting and set well. So it kind of, a lot of stuff got set back and stuff like that. And then I had to get another editor to pick up where he left, and then he had to clean it up, and then, it was just a lot of headaches I went through this movie.
Nobody be knowing about the background.
Yeah. Especially, if you're not funded by a Hollywood studio and you be independent, you're just going to go through so much BS. And you try to work with people, and it's just, they make it hard, but
Sad.
Things happen or whatever, I'm not really mad, I think, everybody did, the best they could, so, sound design took another animal right there. just because we did a lot of ADR for the movie.
Okay.
Because we had to record dub audio and stuff like that. Because some locations, I mean, Hollywood movie does 80% of ADR anyway, so it's like some locations you have no control of the sound, even though you have like maybe a $1,200 mic.
Wow.
Sometimes you just can't control where you're at, you know, especially if you don't have a budget, you know.
Sure.
So I think we did a grocery store scene. I had to ADR that whole scene just because we've got people talking in the background, this and that. So it's like we had no control of that.
Right.
So we knew when we was on set, we're like, yep, ADR.
Right.
We're gonna go to the recording booth. So, you know, I had a sound mixer, stuffed it in, you know, he did nothing for months.
Wow.
And I ended up finding out like he had nothing present to me. So
That's
I had to get a new sound mixer, so I had to push the movie back and stuff like that. So this is some of the stuff you go through being independent, you know.
Right, I see that, right.
But you know, I learned a lot from making this movie because
Okay.
this is like my first feature film.
Wow.
I mean, I've shot in dozens of short films and stuff like that. So I didn't know how to make movies, but this is like my first feature film. So I just wanted to kind of get to that next bar level,
Right.
you know,
I see what you're saying.
and start making, you know, bigger movies and stuff like that. So I mean, the movie's like an hour and 43 minutes.
That's a long time. How long it took to shoot?
It took about 3.5 months, like 27 days.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all including pickup shoots.
Okay.
And we did about maybe like 6 or 7 pickup days.
Wow.
But I figured like, you know, we put in all this work, we might as well get it right. You know, if we got to do pickup shoots. But most Hollywood movies do pickup shoots anyway.
For sure.
So it's just part of the process, you know, just kind of go with it and just deal with
Just
it.
getting with it, right? And that color correction important too, right?
Color correction, color grading, that's pivotal. You know, I always tell people like, you know, because everybody's always, you know, figuring out what cameras I got. Because everybody, you know, likes my quality and stuff
Right.
like that and makes my stuff. And, you know, I tell people, it's like, you know, I don't have like no $1 million, you know, $50,000 camera. I just know cameras. You know, if you know settings, you know, I always tell people it's not about the type of camera, but it's the person behind the camera.
Right.
But, you know, at the same time, it's all about, you know, the lens. It's all about your camera settings. It's all
Right.
about lighting is a big thing, and color grading. You
Color
know,
grading, very important.
color grading makes your movie look so Hollywood. You know, so I always tell people like, you know, I always tell a lot of independent filmmakers that trying to buy a camera and stuff like that. You don't have to get intimidated and feel like you got to buy an Arri Alexa camera or a Red camera.
Right.
And all this stuff. Like I think like the system is so brainwashed people on that. And I mean, I like my camera. My camera literally is I paid like less than $1,000
Wow.
for my camera.
Oh my God. Okay.
But you know, again, it's all about you knowing how to run your camera. So
That's
like,
it. Period.
but yeah, I just tell people like just get a camera, start shooting, get creative. You know, don't get intimidated by this industry, Hollywood, because a lot of stuff I've shined for people because I shoot other people's content, you know, that pitch to studios and stuff like that. I've had plenty of people get picked up by studios based off my camera that I shot, and they liked it.
Right.
So it's like,
You know you're working with something.
yeah. So I tell people like, you know, get you a good camera, know your lighting, know your lens, and you're gonna produce something good. Like, you know, that's it.
So what advice would you tell your younger self?
You give me some good questions here.
That's what I did.
To probably think before I react, or just take my time and just, you know, let God do the work. Like, you know, I always say, you know, Lord is my shepherd, you know, and to stop worrying so much, you know. And I think people worry so much about little, you know, stuff. Like if I go back to my life and just being a filmmaker, I probably wouldn't went to school, probably. Just because I tell a lot of people now, I don't discourage people not to go to school now, but at that time when I was younger, I would say, yeah, go to school, I guess.
Right.
But, you know, if I would have went back, I'd probably just been a PA and worked my way up.
Okay.
I know so many people that have done that, and now they're like ADs on movie sets and all this stuff.
Wow.
So it's like, you know, I always tell people like, just take your time, you know, and just kind of develop, you know, what kind of stories you want to tell
That's it.
is the biggest thing, you know, and just kind of like, whatever inspired you, just figure out a way to be different from
Okay.
it. you
Above
know.
the rest.
Yeah, above the rest. Just be different. But, but have fun, that's the biggest thing. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be in this industry that long if I didn't love what I did.
Absolutely.
And have fun at it, because I tell people, like, if you're doing this to be rich, you're in the wrong profession.
Right.
Because it's going to take you forever. You got people in their late 40s got put on. I think Samuel Jackson got put on when he was like 40-something, 50-something. And you got even like other bigger filmmakers now, they didn't get put on to like their 40s sometimes. Like Ridley Scott didn't get put on the Aliens movies and stuff like that. Like he didn't get put on until like he was 40-something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, I tell people, have patience, trust the process, believe in what you're doing, and it's gonna pay off. I mean, consistency is gonna pay off. Like I've been doing this over 10 years, and this time you're gonna want to quit.
Right.
I mean, it's gonna come. You're gonna be like, the hell with this. Let's go get this 9 to 5.
Right.
But you gotta be consistent. You gotta love what you do,
Absolutely.
and if you kind of can spark somebody's passion to like say, man, you inspired me or something like that. Because I've had people inbox me on social media and be like, man, you inspired me to do this, do that, keep going, man, I'm rooting for you, man. It feels good to, hear that, because it just kind of lets me know like, hey, I'm heading in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So, that's what I just kind of continue doing what I'm doing, because I see people seeing, they ain't even not comment.
Right, they looking though.
They looking. So I'm just continuing to just develop my craft and being the best filmmaker, best writer, best producer, best person I can be. And it's the future's gonna be fun. So I'm just continuing pushing.
Looking forward to it.
Continue pushing.
Okay, and wrapping up, how would you define success?
I think success is, how to define success? It's more just doing something that you love, and if you can inspire somebody, then I feel like that's a success right there.
Thanks.
If you, that's how I look at it.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to sum it up. Is you can inspire somebody, and you do what you love to do, and it's because I always feel like I'm a vessel, what I'm doing. Yeah, I feel like I'm a vessel because I'm able to tell people stories that they have in their mind that they don't know how to do it. And that's where I feel like I come to kind of like, hey, bring your story to life, or whatever the case is. If it's a music video, it's a film, or a documentary, or an interview, whatever the case is.
Right.
I feel like I'm helping somebody bring their vision to life. So, I'm just playing my role as a vessel, just continue inspiring people and continue, giving hope to the world. I think that's what we should do as filmmakers. We need to inspire people. So.
Absolutely. And you do an amazing job of that, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate
No doubt. And how can everybody keep in contact with you?
You can check out my website, barringtonmarsonproductions.com. And you can also find me on Instagram, which is Barrington Marson Productions. And you can also find me on my other personal page, Barrington Marson. And yeah, you can, Facebook, of course, Barrington Marson. I'm always on there. Okay. Mostly on Instagram, but yeah, that's where you can find me, and just word of mouth, and people gonna.
They're gonna do it.
Yeah,
okay, so we're gonna keep in contact. August 13th, red carpet event. We're gonna definitely be promoting, so make sure y'all stay tuned then. Thank you, Barrington, for coming through today.
Thank you.
Giving us your time to shine.
I appreciate you inviting me. It was fun. I appreciate it.
No doubt. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's your girl, Moo Legend. It's Time to Shine Radio. We out.